Because the most recent song you put out is called Try Me.
Try Me.
I cannot believe you did that because I feel like you try your hardest to not engage in like even doing press, you know, and you've even said that you like to keep your personal life separate from you as an artist. But in this particular situation, you've had to address things that have been said about you, right? And so what was your decision in making this song? People are calling it a diss song, but I feel... And it is harsh. I'll say that because it hurt my heart when I was like, "Ooh, I would hate for somebody to." I would not want to go back and forth with Sark on a situation like this. But what made you decide this was the move that you were going to make, as far as addressing, this book where it was referenced you made a woman have an abortion?
To be very honest, it's a sensitive conversation. That the reason why I didn't do no media around or press around it is because I know I might lose. How I would like to present what I feel about it. So normally this is not the first time I've done records to address certain issue or maybe a line or two in a record because I don't know, there's certain energy I hate to feed into, especially speaking about it because I might lose my cool. So with this situation, yes, exactly. I'm not going to sit here and say I'm super proud of everything. It's just in the moment how I felt, whether it be my truth, there should have been a way that you could have said it. That's why I don't like to speak about it because this is a conversation between two people, but then we could have a conversation if you want to talk about it because it involves me as well.
Right.
But because people know the Sark doesn't speak, you know, people think they can say something and no, Sark is not going to speak and then it's going to get away with it.
Yeah.
You know, so once in a while, you know, you just
let them poke the bear. Yeah.
Exactly.
Poke the bear.
So,
and because I'm the same way. If people talk crazy about me, I don't like to address things because I feel like it gives it way more life.
Exactly.
And I see people do it all the time. And instead of me engaging in a back and forth, I'm like, you know what? Go ahead. I'm going to just keep on doing my thing and not let anybody knock me off my square.
True.
But this time you said it wasn't a line or two. I mean, so I want to know.
It's a whole record.
Who did you let hear this first? Was anybody in the studio with you when you did this?
That's what's funny.
Please.
Did not, my team is here. They're all like, people think my team is in support of what I did or the record. None of them knew I did the record because I was on tour. I'm actually on tour when it happened.
Yes.
So, and sometimes when I feel something, then the lyrics is going to come right there and then. So I sneaked into the studio to even record this. I didn't let nobody hear it because I didn't want to hear no advice.
Right.
I just literally want to do what I felt at that point. And face the consequences later on. But it wasn't like the whole team sat down and said, this is good to go. I did it personally for myself.
They probably was like, what are you doing? I can imagine those phone calls and text messages.
a lot of phone calls. So in the heat of the moment, the person that I didn't hear from, which normally she would have been the first person to hit me, is my lawyer. So early morning, I was trying to tease her, and I said, Mama C, so don't you care about what's happening? Because you would hit me up and say, what are we doing? But the sad news is she was dead at the same time.
What?
Yeah, so I see 2 texts go. I didn't hear, of course, she would respond like within 5 minutes.
Wow.
It took hours, and then I heard she's no more. So
oh
just
my
within
God,
that period,
that's
it was
awful...
like very, very tough time within that short
I'm
period.
so sorry to hear that.
Good.
Yeah, I'm really sorry. Ooh,
yeah, so she would have been somebody who I know wouldn't endorse that that situation of how I wanted to handle it, but I just felt like it. Like this, I normally don't do it, but this, to me, I think I'll get to a point where I can speak freely about it. I think it's still fresh, that I still want to process it before I can really speak. You know,
and this is something that happened a really long time ago. Yeah. So this is something that she brought back up. And then I know in interviews you don't even really like to address things like this, but since you put the song out, and it felt like somebody leaked it first.
Yes.
And so maybe you didn't even intend to put it out. Okay, that's what I was thinking. Okay. So you're like, well, it's here now.
Because it's in the middle of the night.
Okay.
Where I was, it was like very late, I think 2 a.m. And then I see Twitter going crazy and people putting out the record.
Oh, so dang.
I have no idea because I didn't give it to. So I have like 2-3 people that I don't want to suspect. You know, it's going to create some energy because I did it just to hold on to it and see if I'm going to release it. But then when it came out, I was like, let me just put it out. Yeah.
Do you do that often? Like something goes on and you're like, let me just do a song about it and then kind of put it away, like kind of like a getting something off your chest diary, because you do.